the knowledge will not be revealed in our heart. Okay. So this transcendent, this entire knowledge of the Vedic universe, whatever knowledge we can talk about it as per Surya Siddhanta and Srimad Bhagavatam. But then we should be very, very careful in trying to analyze the words of the acharyas. Because first thing, let us understand that human being has got four defects. Can you tell me what are those four defects?
Yes, the sleep, nidra, what you call, and then this mating and all these things, and
These are
also
not the
hunger.
four defects, Prabhu. The four defects.
Tendency to make
Prabhupada,
mistakes.
are we live now?
Yes, we're live.
Good.
Tendency to make mistakes, tendency to be illusioned, tendency to cheat, and tendency to I can't remember the last one.
Okay. So
Forgetfulness?
basically, we have to understand that human beings have got four defects. One is that we are tendency to have mistakes. We have that tendency. We keep committing mistakes. We are very generally illusioned. Our senses are not at all perfect, and we try to cheat others. So these are the four defects of a human being. Now, with these four defects existing in the human system, it is not very easy for us to understand the dimensions of the Shastras. Now, the Surya Siddhanta, let's come to Surya Siddhanta itself, which you were quoting. Surya Siddhanta, first of all, is not 2000 years old. Surya Siddhanta is much, much more older than that, which originates from Surya himself. Now, this Surya Siddhanta describes the distance between the earth and the moon, and the distance between the earth and the moon described in Srimad Bhagavatam are one and the same. Because Surya Siddhanta also we consider to be a bona fide literature in Vedic literature in terms of...
Prabhuji, small correction, if I please interrupt. Can you please tell me what is the distance quoted by Surya Siddhanta for the distance between earth and the moon?
Prabhu, the distance between the earth and the moon, that is supposed to be, earth and the sun. Actually, Surya Siddhanta gives two things, wherein the earth and the sun comes to 9 crore 30 lakh miles. That is not from the Srimad Bhagavatam's conclusion, means they are not at all differing. Now, what Prabhupada is mentioning that the sun is actually supposed to be 9 crore 30 lakh miles above the surface of the earth. And from the Bhagavatam also, it is understood that the moon is somewhere around 16 lakh miles above the sun. Okay. Therefore, the distance between the earth and the moon would be about somewhere closely, roughly to be 9 crore 50 lakh miles, which is actually what the Surya Siddhanta also mentioned. Okay.
So, no, Prabhuji, sorry again. What is the distance between earth and the moon as given by the Surya Siddhanta?
Closely to 9 crore.
No, Prabhu, no. It is 2,58,000 miles. 2 lakh.
Can you quote the shloka for that from Surya Siddhanta?
Yes, actually, unfortunately, I don't have it by hand. I've lost. I mean, somewhere inside.
That is one problem with you. You do not have the complete knowledge of the topic you are.
No. Wait a second. You please don't say that. That will not be fair.
I actually tell you straightforward that you do not have the knowledge of the entire system, and you are actually arguing without the knowledge. See, Prabhupada always mentioned or said, Prabhu, wait. The first thing is that even when you argued about the derivation of the word of that paraha to enemy, I gave you a forward explanation from the Nirukta dictionary saying that how it is actually derived as an enemy.
Prabhu,
and not just
please give me one verse from Upanishads or the entire Vedas where para means.
Prabhu, you don't have knowledge of the Upanishads. You have not read Upanishads.
No, that's why you please give me. See, I will tell you one thing.
Shankaracarya, you have not read Dvaita, you have not read Advaita, you have not read Vishishta Advaita. You are just reading something here and there, and you are actually commenting.
Wait a second. Why would you say that I am reading from here and there when I have read the?
Obviously, Prabhu, when I am talking to you about Nirukta dictionary is the bona fide dictionary. It is a Vedic literature.
That's why I am asking you one simple question. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we find a verse, Dvitiyat Bhayam Bhavati. One who finds the second, he will be in fear. What does that mean? It is again meaning the other. Here they are not talking about some enemy.
Prabhu, do not go, Kushalji, do not go beyond all this. I am talking about your word paraha. See, you
Yes,
did
of
not know
course.
the
Sir, of
existence.
course,
No, first
Paraha
of all,
means
you
what?
do not
I
know
would try to
you do
understand
not know
both the
the
suffers.
existence of the Nirukta dictionary itself, Prabhu. And on what basis shall I explain you?
Okay, see, okay, look, okay,
You do
now
not
you're
know that
saying,
Vedangas are existing. You do not have the complete idea of the Vedic literature, and you're coming and explaining, asking me on top. And when I'm trying to give you a straightforward explanation from the Vedangas,
Yes,
forget
but
that. I
no,
myself
What-
that's why I'm asking, that's why I'm
excuse me,
asking.
gentlemen,
What
this is so beautiful to hear. It's just like a very nice tennis game. Bang, 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 but balls going across the court in both directions. But I would like to ask or say, this is a platform of disciples of Prabhupada. And we consider that Prabhupada is the last Sampradaya Acharya for the golden age of Kali. That he has come representing Thakur Bhaktivinoda, Bhakti Saranta Saraswati, Gorkashodas Babaji, and he has come to put the final touch on everything all of us need to go back to Godhead. Will we win arguments if we argue? Who knows? It depends who the judge is. But, not this guy, not that guy. I won, no, I won, we could say. But the actual fact is that all of this is meant for going back to Godhead. So we accept only, if you're talking about Upanishads from Prabhupada, then you will have to find something that he translated that I am not aware of, because I'm only aware of the Upanishad. So if you've got Upanishads translated by Prabhupada, then introduce them. But I don't know where you got them. Hello?
There goes all the
Everyone-
unbonified.
Is everyone still
I said-
alive?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point. We're discussing from Prabhupada's books and from his angle of vision.
Brian came.
Huh? So
If
if you,
Prabhupada
it
didn't
was
want to
just
make us
like-
into cosmic scholars, he wanted us to go back to home, back to Godhead. But even us going back to home, back to Godhead was not his primary concern. His concern was that we, his disciples, insofar as we are disciples, following his discipline, that we bring unlimited jivas back to home, back to Godhead. Plants, animals, bugs, germs, and humans, if they can be talked sense into. Yes, we can do that. We can deliver, but what he gave us, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, we don't have to go beyond that to deliver the universe, to deliver planet Earth in the golden age of Kali. If you want to go beyond it, then you're up there talking with Gyanis, and that gets complicated. On the Jnana Karma beach, we are dealing with the Bhakti Lata beach, pure unalloyed love of God. That's the beach we deal with with Prabhupada. Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Roy discussed it. He talked about the Anyabalasha beach, which is horizontal, blah, 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 blah. People are making big things out of nothing. The library making Yogi so hospital. Yes, Yogi, not a doctor. No, but because he's famous, they call it after him because they want people to follow the yogi. No, that's not what we do. That's horizontal. Then between horizontal and vertical is a point, a pinpoint. And that pinpoint is the Jnana Karma Beach. Jnana is what we're talking about here. Upanishads, karma. It means actions to elevate you to the higher planets. Doesn't work in Kali Yuga. Then we got to the Bhakti Lata Beach, and that is where Lord Ramachandra Roy spoke to Lord Chaitanya, who began to weep in ecstasy hearing his words, and he embraced Ramananda Roy. That's our purpose, the Bhakti Lata Beach. The Upanishads are wonderful, but those who are interested in the Bhakti Lata Beach will leave it in the Jnana Karma. Jnana point, in between the Anayavalasha, it is more of the task of the scholar and the yogi. And we don't need that. What we need is to develop the Bhakti Lata Bij. Ramananda Roy did that. And even so, I know a couple who named their son Raya Ramananda Das Thakur in honor of Ramananda Roy having done exactly that. Eliminated and presented the Bhakti Lata Bij to Lord Chaitanya, who of course is the person who brought it. But who knows that? Who knows anything? Who knows what Prabhupada said? Nobody. So if someone can say what Prabhupada said, then they are a great giver of gifts, of priceless treasure. So the Bhakti Lata Bij. So anyhow, I give up now the floor, and I want to thank you all. But please remember that we need to stick with Prabhupada's writing, because we're trying to accelerate people from horrible next births as malacha to becoming animals and insects and mosquitoes and cockroaches up to the platform of Kanista Adhikari, where you're still body conscious, but you're busy purifying your body, as are we. That's what we're doing. The Kanista Adhikari. And how do you save yourself from becoming a cockroach? Chant Hare Krishna 16 rounds. Follow the 4 regulated principles. Worship the deity. Read from Prabhupada's books. Take Bhagavad Prasadam. Don't eat anything that's not made as an offering to Krishna. When you do all of those things, that's the Kanista Adhikari. And from there, after God knows how much time, God does know, but Krishna knows, you elevate and you can become interested then in going back to home, back to Godhead. But whoever's Kanista Adhikari, in his dreams, he will go back to Godhead. He has got to come to the point of developing pure, unalloyed love of God. That was what Prabhupada came to give us. So please, let's take that as the point of view, Prabhupada's writing and Prabhupada's mission, and then, great, let's discuss where the moon is. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
To add on to Naranarayan Prabhu's idea, actually, when I was reading personally Bhagavata Purana's 5th canto and trying to understand this entire arrangement of the planetary system, I could not comprehend it. And then I started reading other books, including Surya Siddhanta and all that, and still I was not able to comprehend. And then finally, I concluded that my senses are not perfect enough to understand this because it was in a total dimension. So I started sincerely praying to Krishna that while you're taking me to Vaikuntha in the Pushpaka, at that time you give me a tour of how this entire universe is actually arranged. So I think that is the best way to understand the universe rather than try to come to conclusions and based on all these Shastric references, because the dimensions in which our universe is arranged is totally different. And as Naranarayana Prabhu said, I felt it is very insignificant for us to understand it, because ultimately what we should understand is the love of God, and what we should understand is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what we should actually understand is that we should finish everything in this life itself and go back home, back to Godhead. So this one topic of the arrangement of the universe is not a very easy topic to understand for our imperfect senses. Nobody can understand it. Nobody can understand it. It's very difficult to even comprehend. Very difficult. For example, I'll give you one straightforward example. I'll give you about if you go to Ramayana, there, if you understand in Ramayana itself, that Sri Lanka is actually situated at the distance of 800 miles from India's border. Now, if you see the current Sri Lanka itself, it is somewhere between only 40 kilometers distance. Where is 800 miles? Where is 40 kilometers? And then there are so many other references which Sugriva is telling. Actually, Sugriva, he is telling Ramachandra in front of Ramachandra, he is giving so much, saying that you go to this direction, cross this mountain, cross this sea, cross that, then come back, then this, that. So much he is giving the description. Even in that, it is the simplest description of our Jambudvipa in the Ramayana, Valmiki's Ramayana. Still, I was not able to comprehend it because it is not easy for someone to comprehend. Only a person who has seen it can describe it. I have not seen it, so I'm not able to see it. And even if I've seen also, if somebody is describing also, I have to actually see it to understand how this entire universe is actually arranged. So I end my argument at this point.
Oh, that's brilliant. I agree with you. I would like to point out that Danavir Maharaj has written several books on the comparison of the Western and the Vedic cosmology that is described by Prabhupada in the 5th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And you'll find all of the data for the shape and size of the universe in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam. And this is not written by Prabhupada. This is the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada simply paid a commentary, but he didn't change the meaning of it. He didn't change the function of it. It's there. It's been there for thousands of years, 5,000 years. So you read the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, then you could read Danavir's writing, because Danavir also found that people like Tamal Krishna and other people in the Oxford group were trying to backpedal on the Vedic version of where the planets are. And that means that we have to have a clear understanding from Shastra and how it will match with what we see when we look out at night. But what you're saying about the yojanas and whatnot with the Ramayan, I would like to also say that the vanas around Vrindavan, there's 8, the petals. Each one is, you know, if you've been to Vrindavan, you can walk there. It's not a very big place. But if you go into one of those vanas, it's enormous because it's spiritual. And there are so many pastimes, so many things, room for hundreds of thousands of cows. I challenge anyone to take 50,000 cows to Vrindavan. Where will they put them? But Maharaj Nanda had hundreds of thousands of cows. Is that an exaggeration? Was the Earth planet bigger? No. The Earth planet, when Krishna was here, was more mystical. And because it was mystical, all the cows fit, 500,000 cows can be lost in the grass of one of the vanas. Then you come out of that vana, and it's down to a little lotus petal again. So we have to understand there's mystical things happening as well. How could Krishna have 10,108 wives in Dwarka? I've been to Dwarka. There isn't that much real estate there. So we have to take into account that the dimensions as we know them, we consider them, they're not carved in stone. Actually, the problem is they are carved in stone, but they're not carved in spiritual reality. Spiritual reality is not limited to a measuring tape. You know, just like the jiva. Look at the jiva as infinitesimal part and parcel of Krishna. Yet the jiva can become gigantic in relation to Krishna. This is mystical. This has nothing to do with genetics. Haribol, again, thank you. Continue.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. If I can say something, you know,
of course.
Gaur Gopal Das of ISKCON Mumbai was associated. He was even he was pinned down about the same issue, about these yojanas, the distance and all that. And you know, even he was bewildered actually. And now at the end, he could only conclude that, okay, now because most of the nations are already reaching to the moon, I think there is some discrepancies, and that's it. See, once we try to force feed ourselves into some...
Sorry, Prabhupada, we take Prabhupada as authority, not him.
Wait a second. See,
Prabhupada's intelligence comes from Krishna Loka.
Yes, please understand.
If you want to argue with Prabhupada's intelligence and knowledge, then you have to argue with Krishna. And I would like to have a seat, a nice, comfortable chair to watch the argument between yourself and Krishna. Who's going to win that argument, I wonder?
Yes, please. See, Vinayak Sharma Prabhuji, authority is not a book. Authority is truth. Truth is the authority, not somebody or some person. Some person will not become the truth. Truth is the authority. So we all should find truth, because even in the Upanishads, if I can remember the Aitareya Upanishad, 1 second, Prabhuji, you may speak. They say Satyam Vara Dharmam Chara. That's it. Our highest agenda is Satya. Satyameva Jayate, India's national insignia or symbol or saying is Satyameva Jayate. Truth alone triumphs. Where is it coming from? Again, from the Mundaka Upanishad. So our whole systems are about finding truth, asserting and exerting ourselves to finding truth. Otherwise, what happens is, in our attempts to go to, you want to go to Krishna Loka, somebody wants to go to Kailasa, Muslims wants to go to heaven, where Allah is offering them some opulences, and then the Christians want to go to that, what is the heavenly
Swargaloka.
Yes, they want to go somewhere. So everybody in their attempts to go somewhere, the earth is being made a battlefield of people, who are sticking to their own agendas and their own belief systems without seeing what is truth. Once we start seeing truth, earth becomes a garden of bliss. Please try and understand. All the religious wars that India has seen and the world has seen, bloody wars, where people have been wiped off, they've all come from this adherence to their belief systems and
So
crowding themselves without
you are
finding-
thinking, you are suggesting that the Shastra is a belief system?
Yes, see, Shastras have the grain and the chaff. We should be intelligent enough to ignore the chaff and take up the grains. But if we start arguing the chaff also
There's
should
nothing to
become
pick up. Does the Shastra come from Krishna, or where does it come from?
Indeed, it is from the Krishna. Indeed, it is from the intelligence.
So, if it comes from Krishna, is it perfect or imperfect?
Indeed, it is perfect, but we should always understand. Krishna himself says, first I gave it to the Manu, but it got deteriorated. So in the process, it gets deteriorated. We should be aware. Krishna is offering us the intelligence. He is saying, be in yoga, I shall offer you the intelligence. So being in yoga, we should be able to decipher where deterioration and dilutions are happening. If we don't do that, then
are
we
you
doing
suggesting
disservice to Krishna?
If a person comes who is an Uttamarakari, sort of Shaktadesh avatar, he is subject to the
Prabhuji, with all
corruption
due
of anything
respects,
that was written by men?
yes, with all due respects, Prabhuji, we are all becoming like a ticking bombs with our own. See, I cannot discuss in good humor with Agrani Prabhuji or Vinayak Sharma Prabhuji because, they blast out. It's not like humble truth seeking that happens. Why is this happening? Because once someone's belief system or built up ideas gets hit, blast. So this is going
Okay.
to
Now,
wreck.
let me ask you then, just
Please,
to try to ease the situation a little bit, do you consider that a resident of Krishna Loka who comes down to deliver the holy name of Krishna on earth is fallible or infallible?
Undoubtedly, it's infallible, without a doubt.
Infallible. Are you saying infallible?
Yes, that which cannot be, diluted or adulterated. That I'm 100%
Exactly.
sure.
So do you consider that Prabhupada came from Krishna Loka?
Without a doubt, he has delivered me. I am myself a personal beneficiary of Prabhupada's great work.
Yes. So if Prabhupada came from Krishna Loka, then there is no flaw in anything that he said.
But everything unfortunately suffers from the ill effects of Kali Yuga. We do not know what exactly.
Including Prabhupada?
Well, I am not interested in any individual to comment on like that.
Not an individual. It's like saying to a Christian, well, Jesus is just another individual.
Yes,
Prabhupada is not just another individual.
Yes,
He
this
is
is the
the-
problem. See, this is the problem. Somebody is a Christian, somebody is a Vaishnava, somebody is a Shaiva, somebody is a
Christians,
Shaiva, somebody is a
Christians
Muslim.
do not even know that Krishna Loka exists.
Exactly. See, Prabhuji, that is the problem. We are all, bound
Well,
by these belief
if they don't
systems.
know it exists, then they're primitive, aren't they?
Yes, that's all fine. But please understand, as you yourself explained, we are
Why
not.
compare?
We are not Vaishnavas, we are not Muslims, we are not Christians. We are merely humble truth seekers. The moment we, put on the garb that I am a Vaishnava.
Why are you seeking? Why are you a truth seeker?
Indeed,
Isn't
the
that
moment.
redundant? You do not know that you are a spirit soul? You are eternally part and parcel of Krishna, right? Do you accept that?
Doubt.
Do you accept that you're part and parcel of Krishna?
Without doubt. Without doubt.
Yes or no? You are part. Are you? Aham Brahmasmi means what? Achinta Veda Tattva means what? I am part and parcel of God. God is infallible. So where is all this confusion coming from?
The confusion is coming from the very same verses of Krishna, which says that the injunctions I gave to Manu, it got deteriorated. The same injunctions which Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita again says.
But that has nothing to do with where we are right now. Lord Chaitanya came 500 years ago in the mood of Radharani. He created the golden age of Kali because Radharani is golden. He gave one jagya, not Hinduism. Hinduism is finished. Christianity is finished. Islam is finished. Judaism finished. They're all finished. They're all dead. They are just twitching, lying on the ground, not realizing that they're dead. What has come is the holy name, Hare Krishna mantra. By 500 years ago, Lord Chaitanya came just like Parsuram and destroyed all religion on earth. So we cannot talk about Muslim. We cannot talk about Jew or Christian. Lord Chaitanya destroyed it because they all have a little bag of secrets and they make you pay for them to hold that bag in your behalf. Oh, salvation in my hand here. Now give me your money and give me your people. Give me your army. No, that is finished. Exactly. Now we are dealing with something which is free. The holy name of Krishna is free. All the secrets that all the religions had in their little tight, sweaty, stinky fists are free. No longer a price tag. Broke open the storehouse of love of God. And out rushed the holy name in the form of bhakti. And those that were devotees, they drowned. And those that were not devotees, they floated. So even the non-devotee was not ignored by the holy name. He just didn't know how to drown yet. But by chanting, you learn the process of drowning in the ecstasy of pure, unalloyed love of God. It's all finished. There's no point in talking about Upanishads. There's no point in talking about religions. There's no point in talking about points of view. Everyone has a point of view because everyone is a jiva. And each jiva is part and parcel of Krishna, purely spirit soul. Do you accept, sir, that you are a spirit soul?
Sir, accepting is different. Having realized in that mode is different. I have not yet realized.
Not realized. Do you accept that as the reality, as the truth?
Without doubt, without doubt. I really want that.
You don't know if you're a spirit soul.
Yes, without doubt.
Okay, without doubt, that's better. Because otherwise I would have to ask you, do you consider that Krishna exists? I mean, what's the deal? Krishna not only exists, we're part and parcel of him. He's infinite, eh? And we're infinitesimal. We're little tiny grains of Krishna. Infinitesimal means without any dimension. Go to math, the theoretical point which you put on the paper with a pencil is like a football field if you look at it under a microscope, 50,000 power electron microscope. That's not the point. We put it there to symbolize the point. And you put 2 points and you draw a line between them. The line is not a line. Why? The line has only one dimension, length. It has no width. The point has no dimension at all. It just has location. So this we have to understand is reality, not the symbolism that comes around it. So the reality of the soul is that you're like a point, the hypothetical point. You, I, each of us are infinitesimal parts and parcels of Krishna. And what does that make us? It makes us Krishna. How much Krishna? Infinitesimal amount. How much is Krishna? Krishna? Infinitely Krishna. So Krishna is infinitely Krishna, we're infinitesimally Krishna. That's who we are. And how do we know? Because we're conscious. And Prabhupada made clear, consciousness is the indicator of the soul. Oh? Because we are conscious, that means Aham Brahmasmi, I am the soul. So, because I am the soul, then what is the body? The body is not who you are. You think it is. You act like it is. You bet your life on it, literally. You bet your whole 90 years on it, or your whole life. You bet your money on it, how much you can make in your lifetime and accumulate and get rich and take care of your wife and children. You can do all of that, but it doesn't make it real because the body will die and you, sir, will not die. You're eternal.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
And how big? Infinitesimal. So we don't have to worry about all of these calculations of Upanishads or anything.
Sir, Prabhuji, our domain.
Go ahead.
Yeah, our domain of expertise is how to go back to Krishna Loka. That is our domain of expertise. We should focus on that. We should not venture into domains of astrophysicists or geneticians or evolutionary biologists.
But the point is, how we can go back to Krishna Loka if we don't accept the avatar who came to take us back to Krishna Loka.
We completely accept the avatar. We not only accept, we surrender ourselves to the avatar.
Okay, so if he says that the sun is further than the moon is further than the sun, why do you suddenly want to pick an argument with him?
Yes, certainly we will pick an argument because that's not an injunction. That's not.
So you don't accept. You don't accept it. Trakalagya. You don't think Prabhupada knows past, present, and future?
I accept the grain and I reject the chaff. If I don't reject, like for example, Krishna.
So do you consider yourself superior to Prabhupada?
No, certainly not superior to anybody, but for me.
No, you are superior to anyone who thinks that the moon is closer to the earth than the sun. You reject reject anyone who says that.
I am a sincere student
on the basis of atheists that you listen to.
It's not atheism. See, atheism is for the Western people. Indians or the Indic culture will not support atheism because here our systems are very advanced. See, for example.
Also, are you saying that the Srimad Bhagavatam came from America, not from India?
Indeed, it is from India, but unfortunately, even in India, dilutions have happened, and it is for this reason for 2000 years.
And you think that Prabhupada took part in that dilution?
Exactly, Prabhuji. I can only say our domain.
So how can you go back to Godhead if the person is going to take you up back to Godhead? You're immediately pointing the finger. He's not infallible.
No,
you think you can go back to Godhead with a teacher or a guru or a spiritual master who is mistaken? Maybe he's mistaken of going back to Godhead too.
Well, even that could be. But what happens?
Then you're screwed.
No, I'm not.
That the spiritual master is infallible. I'm not talking about wannabes that sit around an ISKCON temple getting their butts
That's hand logic.
Out a red chair. Huh?
What happens is we trying to glorify our guru and others wanting to glorify their gurus. We are just making this world.
Are you putting them on the same level?
We are only making this world a battlefield by not being able to see what is a little wrong and what is right.
So you want to reject all gurus, is that it?
No, it is not that. If Indian Space Research Organization is saying to us, this is wrong and we are here to prove it for you with mere money that you are offering as tax and we are disproving
it. Where is their Shastric credential?
Yes, this Shastra has been, has been dismantled. This is not coming from true authority.
Well, it's dismantled that it doesn't exist.
Yes, if something, the scientists who are also diligent to their work, who are also truthful, if they are bringing proof in front of our eyes that this is the truth, because even they are resting in yoga and Krishna is giving them intelligence.
And they eat beef while they're doing it and drink whiskey.
That's
No,
that's
Prabhu,
what I was gonna
Prabhuji,
say next.
Even
if you
more
guys
truth.
today-
The whiskey truth and the beef slice of beef, roasted slice of beef truth. And that's better than the Shastras.
See, if today you guys
Half-hand logic.
no, if today you guys are sitting in California and here I'm in Bangalore, and if we are conversing, it is all because of science. How did this happen? How did this system come into place?
Science. They cannot even tie their own shoelaces.
No,
Science
it is
is-
not true. See, you are sitting there in California and I'm here in Bangalore, thousands of miles away.
Are you with the Akshaya? Are you with Akshaya Patra?
Without doubt, without doubt.
Are you with Madhu Pandit?
Of course, I am with his organization, but I have these doubts, and it is not that, okay, I have subscribed to somebody, and for that reason, I will say everything is good. I can't do that.
How can you have doubt? Are you saying that Krishna maybe doesn't know what he's doing?
No, Krishna's work indeed has got diluted. In fact, our
No, I'm not
Ronald's,
talking. India has gotten totally. Do you know what is the worst thing that happened to India?
yes, please, Prabhuji,
People
tell me.
call themselves Hindus. Can you imagine anything more degrading than to call yourself a Hindu?
Indeed, I am an Hindu, Prabhu. Why not?
Why not? Because Hindu is an insult given by the Mughals to the people who practice Sanatana Dharma. The members of the Daiva Varnashram Dharma, like descended from King Yudhisthira, they were Brahmins. And then the Mughals and British castrated the Indian people and called them Hindus as an insult. You realize that's equal to the N-word in America? You know what I mean by N-word?
Well,
If you don't, it is an insulting way of referring to a man of black color. N means for Negro, but it goes worse than that.
Okay.
That's what they did. And you know what? The people call themselves Hindus. Oh yeah, I'm a black man. I'm a Negro. They're still clinging to it proudly, even though they're members of Sanatana Dharma, the original religion that came down from Yudhisthira in Krishna, from Krishna Loka in Dwapara Yuga. No, we have to give it all up.
Yes.
So you're talking about Hindus, meaning people that consider themselves subhuman. Hindu means subhuman, below human.
Yes. What made
But Sanatana Dharma means glorious, adherent of the Shastra.
Now asking the fundamental question, what made those Islamic invaders who ravaged India slip into that kind of psychotic disorder? They were people who were suffering from this psychotic disorder, nothing less than that. They were, indoctrinated by some ideas that anything.
They were the Muslims are barbarians. The Mughals were barbarians.
Yes, they
Rich
are
barbarians, but barbarians. They came.
Barbarians, but what
You know
made
what the
them
problem
so?
is?
No, Prabhuji, my simple question is, what made them so? What made them barbaric? What made them
Kali Yuga?
What made them mindless? It's not Kali Yuga, but it's their indoctrination. They were indoctrinated. They were made
by
to
who?
believe.
Who indoctrinated the Muslims? They're indoctrinating everybody. They're killing everybody. Who's indoctrinated them?
Yes, exactly. Their philosophy has pushed into their head that there exists nothing except
by
Allah.
Who?
By the culture where they were born into. The culture.
And where did that come from?
Exactly. See, the evolution of humanity.
India, basically, India had no Muslims before they invaded India.
See, their
There was
own,
no Pakistan. There was no Muslim country. There was no Bangladesh.
yes, that is all fine, Prabhuji. I cannot argue more. I
So
think
they
I have
say
made my point.
Hindu means those inferior people on the other side of the river. What river? The Indus River. And they said, why don't they call them Sindhus? Because the Muslims have a defect in their speech. They cannot say S. So they said Hindu instead of Sindhu. And you picking it up and are proud of it? It's degrading. No Hindu should tolerate being called Hindu from today onward. They should say Sanatan Dharma. If they say, what do you believe? What religion do you belong to? Sanatan Dharma. Oh, I thought you were a Hindu. No, don't insult me like that. Don't insult me by calling me Hindu. That is a degrading word that the masters whipped us into. The masters whipped us until we accepted that we were Hindus. And then the British went even further. So if you're whipped enough, you'll call yourself a Hindu. So I agree with you. There is so many imperfections. So if all these scholars are Hindus, why should I believe them? They don't even believe in themselves as Sanatan Dharma. No, it's time to quit using the word Hindu. Just give it up. Why? Because it has nothing to do with Krishna. It has nothing to do with the Vedas. It has nothing to do with the Varnas or Ashramas. Nothing. And then they split it up into little pieces. You know, Durga, Shiva, Ganesh, all were part of the bigger panoply of function within the Krishna conscious structure that Yudhisthira left behind when he did the Rajasuya sacrifice, honoring Krishna as the most honored person on earth, after conquering every king that was left that didn't want to give up before he fought. So that continued into Kali Yuga for some time. Nobody could defeat the Indian kings. Bharat could not be defeated. But then when the Mughals came in, it proved that the Kali Yuga had taken over and weakened and cut the guts out of castrated the Indian culture. And then they then called the people who used to be worshippers of Krishna in the Varnashram Dharma, they called them Hindus. Just like the British, when Calcutta, you know, we have a great saint in our line called Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, a wonderful sacred name, Chakravarti. And what did the British do? Turn the Chakravarti name into a servant to go running back and forth with papers in his hand. And they'd call him Chatterjee. And I bet in India you've heard people named Chatterjee, Mukherjee, Chatterjee, Banerjee. Why? Because they were nigrified by the British, made inferior by the British, and they still keep the name the British gave them. At least at the time of the independence of India, they said, I'm not going to be Chatterjee anymore, I'm going to be Chakravarti. But no, they were too used to licking the spittle off of the butts of the British. So it's time for the Indian population to regain its glory. You too, sir. You're glorious. Now regain your glory and do not identify what is Hindu. It's finished. Hindu no longer means anything other than second-class citizen. That's what it means.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the explanation.
Do you like it?
Oh, of course. Your immense knowledge about this, I really did not think.
It's not so immense. It's just very simple. They give you a dirty name.
Actually,
they go away, take off the dirty name.
In fact,
if your name is Chakravarti, don't let them call you Chatterjee. But they still call themselves Chatterjee. You know, you've heard the word, you've heard the name Chatterjee?
Of course, very much.
And you've heard the name Chakravarti.
Yes.
Do you know one is a gift of the British and the other is a gift of Krishna? Guess which is which?
Okay. Thank you. Now I understood why we should not be.
Anyhow, let's give up all this stuff. And the scientists, whether they're Indian or Western or German or Martian or whatever, the universe is a big place. It's actually ours is a rather small place, only four-headed Brahma, but it's big compared to planet Earth. Let's go ahead, understanding that Narada Muni can walk through outer space without a rocket ship.
Thank you.
You know, and the scientists that are so smart about where the moon is, they cannot go anywhere without a rocket ship. Even the demigod Elon Musk, he makes a better rocket ship than anybody ever has, but he can't go up there without a rocket ship. And he wants to take a Tesla car and float it up to Mars on a Mars journey. Well, let's see him do it without a rocket ship. Then I take off my hat to Elon Musk.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Okay, is that enough? Now go ahead and speak. I was enjoying hearing your ideas. They triggered me. And when it comes to ideas, anything that triggers me, I love it. I love an idea that triggers me. I'm not opposed to you or your ideas. I am simply a humble servant, your humble servant, searching for the truth.
No, Prabhuji. I am a humble servant of all you devotees who have actually brought up this wave of bhakti, which is cleansing us all.
This is Istagosti, and Istagosti means jiva to jiva. We have to bypass the human body to come to even a grain of sense, right? Now, but human body is delusion by its nature. So in Istagosti, we put down the human body. We also put down our tridanda for sannyasa. We put down our car keys if we're driving a car. We put down our big title of this, that, or the other thing. We put it down, and we simply talk as spirit soul to me. Aham Brahmasmi. I'm spirit soul. I'm talking to you. And what are you? Spirit soul talking to me. That is my satisfaction.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Don't have to thank me. Just take part. Pounce on it. Defeat me. Or participate. Join with me. Whatever you like.
No. Holy association itself is a blessing of the Lord. It's not easy in this material world to get holy association. So I'm really.
Well, that's what everyone's doing. Look at ISKCON. They're filled with people that think they're big shots. The only big shot in the ISKCON temple is Prabhupada's books. They say, well, the books, who's going to explain those books to me? If I go into the temple, who will explain? There's all these books. Who will teach me the truth of those books? But if you look at the books, that's what they are. They're self-explanatory. The book is very thin. Prabhupada's explanation is very thick. The book is the explanation. You don't need someone sitting there taking your money and explaining the book. You don't have to worship anyone except Krishna or Prabhupada is his pure representative. The truth is there in the book. If you go out on an island somewhere and you never heard of Krishna before, with a whole complete set of Prabhupada's books, and you're stuck there for 10 years with nothing to do, no television, no TikTok, no nothing, you can sit there reading Prabhupada's books. And at the end of 10 years, you will know everything. You'll be a great devotee. Why? Because the books are your guru. You don't need a guru. The books are your guru. Everything is explained. And you'll learn that Prabhupada said the only purpose that he wrote his books was so that people would then understand why they should chant. So it's not even about books. It's about chanting.
Exactly, Prabhu, exactly. Because
so we don't have to worry about the philosophy or the Upanishads, or we don't have to worry about anything. We can entertain our intelligence, yes, why not? But in fact, we need to embrace the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Not just me sitting in a room saying, I hope nobody interrupts you while I'm chanting. No, You go out and you chant in such a way, open your mind, just like supposing you're going to have a party, and if you're married, your wife or your mother or someone has cooked a wonderful prasadam feast. There's going to be a nice kirtan, there's flowers and garlands, everything very festive. And in that atmosphere that you have got, why not do it every day without the flowers and the garlands, just with the holy name? You go out and you look at the trees and you invite them, please, trees, come to my party. Grass, come into my party. We're chanting Hare Krishna in my party. You can't chant because you're trees, but we can listen and you can feel. I want to experience what you're feeling in the presence of the holy name. And it's not that I'm chanting. I may be making the motion of chanting, but the sound vibration transcends my ability to make the sound. So it's just the sound vibration coming in contact with you, precious and beloved jivas, in the form of trees and grass and flowers and bugs and germs and everything, and animals. Yes, that way, then you'll get some real pleasure from life. You become a host to unlimited jivas. And when you do, keep that up for a few thousand years, and you'll go back to Godhead with a crown on your head.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Well, nothing to thank me for. I'm just pointing out the obvious, certainly. If it's not obvious, then disagree.
Okay.
But we need to know that Narottam Das Thakur said, Hare Krishna comes straight from Krishna Loka. Comes straight from Krishna Loka. But with chanting, I have no connection. He's a jiva. Narottam Das Thakur is a great saint. He's just a propagator of the holy name. But he's saying, on behalf of you and me, but with chanting, I have no connection. Day and night, I'm burning in this dark world, as you may have noticed that we are, without working to make the correction. So Krishna comes from Krishna Loka. How? Via the mouth of the pure devotee who comes from Krishna Loka. All the Shiksha Guru, all the Diksha Gurus are residents of Krishna Loka. They don't become that on earth. It takes too long. Many thousands of births. But they come, and then we can immediately benefit. And then Prabhupada said, ISKCON is my body. So take part in ISKCON, and you're being bathed in Prabhupada's personal energy.
Sure.
What's the bad part?
Sure.
And if some idiot comes along and says GBC is a totalitarian force that is not elected, you can say, well, that's your opinion. And if somebody comes along and says, oh, I'm a Diksha Guru, you can't go to Godhead unless you surrender to me, I'll say, well, the problem is that when you die, I'll have to go to where you go because you don't have the potency to take my karma back to Krishna Loka. Prabhupada does, you don't. I mean, I'm not going to waste my time giving my money, my time, my effort, my devotion, and my love to a person where if I die, where you die, I have to go to where you go. Look at Kirtanananda Swami. Does anyone want to go where he is right now? But whoever took Diksha from him is going where he is right now. He may have said that you will go back to Godhead. But anyone could say it. Even I could say it. Hey, worship me, I'll take you back to Godhead. Ha ha ha. Give me money too. And a place to stay and a nice car and pleasure. Transcendental pleasure. Beautiful garlands. And I'll tell you whatever comes into my head. Nope. Thank you. That's not the process. So what do you want to deal now? Keep going. I was enjoying hearing your speaking. Your speaking is very intelligent, and I love intelligence.
No, Prabhuji, speaking is not intelligent. Anybody who is fed with information, he can speak, but realization is different. Yes.
Well, they're both, yes, right. Well, then speak from realization. I mean, you do understand that you are spirit soul, right?
Yes.
And you know that you're not infinite, you're infinitesimal, correct?
Of course, of course.
And you do understand that you're conscious.
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
You are very conscious. You're intelligently conscious. So then my next question is, we had this whole conversation, your spirit soul, your infinitesimal, your conscious. What? We haven't mentioned the body, have we? Forget the body. You don't
Yes.
need the body for talking. We're talking. We're talking outside of or instead of the body. And where do you get the language to speak outside the body? The same person that guides you to do all the weird stuff you like to do, Paramatma. If you ask Paramatma, give me words to speak in the midst of this great assembly of saintly people like yourselves, he will. He does. Okay?
Yes,
So
yes.
make that your platform. Can you take on being guided, every word you utter? Can you take on being guided by Paramatma? You think?
Okay, okay, Prabhu. Yes.
Oh, no, can you? Yes or no?
Yes, every word is from the divine, from the God.
No, it's divine. Paramatma guides the murderer how to murder. He does. Why is Paramatma in the body of the material being? Because the material being has desires. And these desires are not the desires that Krishna himself wants to have. Taking drugs, eating meat, that's nothing for Krishna. So how does he arrange that you can do what you want because you're part and parcel of him? Because you're part and parcel of him, he provides himself in the form of Paramatma to give you the garbage that you want.
Okay.
And then when you get ready, he will give you the words to speak gloriously so everyone's hair will stand on end when you speak. Will you like that? You can choose.
Okay.
Don't separate yourself from the soul by assuming that you're the body. Just let the body go. It doesn't, you don't need it. It's going to be there till you leave your body. You live inside the body, that's fine. Just don't pay the attention to it. It is really a waste of time.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Do you agree? Do you agree?
Of course, you're speaking truth. I should agree.
Yeah, but do you feel the agreement? Something inside you says, wow, yes, I will listen to Paramatma, not to my body.
Undoubtedly, I should. I should.
No,
I
no,
should.
it should. Just do it. It's not difficult.
Okay.
It's based on desire. Prabhupada said on the Jaladuta coming to America, he prayed to Paramatma, the opposite of the Bhagavad Gita. Active bird is a jiva, inactive bird is Paramatma, in that verse, shloka. And Prabhupada went the opposite. He said to Paramatma, make me dance like a puppet. Meaning, Paramatma, you be the puppeteer. I, this jiva, will be quiet. I will not move unless you move me. Why not take that on yourself? Not immediately, not in 2 seconds, but make it a daily practice of praying to Paramatma. Please make me dance like a puppet so that I can speak beautifully and conclusively about Krishna without making it up and without being an egotist. Give it a try. Would you like to?
Of course, without doubt. Without doubt.
Then do it. Then will you do it?
Yes, I will. I will. I should. I will.
Yes. Starting now, pade pade, step by step. One little footstep after the other, like Vamana the dwarf. But in 3 steps, Vamana wasn't so little anymore. Anyhow,
Okay.
thank you. I hope I haven't been too pushy.
Yeah, yeah. Very beneficial. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, well, transform.
Yes.
Transform from what you were into what you are by nature as spirit soul.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a brotherhood. We are the league. League means a brotherhood. The league for 10,000 years means we are creating the format for the 9,500, whatever years, 4,050 years of the golden age of Kali remaining. And we can go out and make ourselves like miniature tiny little avatars by chanting Hare Krishna. Because the Maha Mantra, Prabhupada says, is a Shaktivesh avatar. Or you could say they are, Radha Krishna are Shaktivesh avatars in the form of the Maha Mantra. You don't need a teacher, you don't need a guru, and you certainly don't need anyone to explain anything. If you want something explained, read Prabhupada's books, it's there. Or get together like this, it is to go and express your view. And then someone will offer another view, and you can join your views and make a harmonious understanding that is a big step towards Krishna Loka. Okay?
Just so
Yes.
you know, we have 5 minutes to go.
Okay, so I will be quiet now.
Try.
Let others speak.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Danot Pranam to all devotees. Hari Bol. Jai
Jai
Prabhupada.
Prabhu. Mohit,
Hare. Yes, bro. How are you?
I'm eternal. How are you?
Hari Bol. Jai. Jai.
How else could I be?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to ask you, how's your red shirt? How does it feel? Is your red shirt feeling good, or is it feeling that it needs to go to the laundry, or does it need to be ironed? I'm not talking about your red shirt like that. I'm not talking to you. Right?
Yes, Hari Bol. Yeah.
So if you have a statement to make, this is the chat. We could go 5 minutes over if needed. But if there's anyone on this call, on the Zoom call, that wants to say something or ask something, go. This is the time to do it for tonight. Otherwise, have to do it tomorrow night. What do you think, Mohit? Do you have anything you want to say?
No, Hari Bol. Just darshans of great devotees like you make my day. So that's it. Hari Bol.
I'm not a devotee. I am the most fallen soul.
I'm worse than you, bro.
Well, that's impossible, technically.
That's possible. I'm worse than you. Hari Bol.
You're more exalted than me.
No, bro.
Yes, Ramachandra.
Jai. Yeah,
What do you
wonderful
want to say?
discussion devotees were having. This devotee, what's his name? Kosho? Is he still here? Yes. Prabhu, I guess you're trying to understand Krishna consciousness, and then you have some doubts. Doubts are good. So keep chanting Hare Krishna and keep hearing from Prabhupada's lectures, conversations. That will give you a lot of answers.
And come on the Zoom call. We'll
Yes.
all work with you.
Right. Yes.
And if you get
Anyone
get too difficult, we'll all beat you up. No, we'll worship your lotus feet.
Right.
That's to anyone beating them up, they can handle. Having their lotus feet worshipped is more than they can handle. So what's happening, Ramachandra?
You tell me. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 devotees, and we're
Well, why
live
not
also on YouTube.
Why not do your thing? I was just chatting away with one person, really. Oh, why not just, we'll take the extra 5 minutes. I will say nothing. Just bring them around and see what they think and what they feel.
Yeah, let me check the messages. 1 second here.
Hari Bol, just check it with Roop Manjari, Mataji.
Yes, go ahead.
It's her night day.
She's the host. She's the boss. She can cut us off.
Rupa Manjari Mataji is my mentor,
Hari Bol. Jai.
and my guardian angel.
Hari Bol. Jai Prabhupada.
So, Ramachandra, what are you finding?
All
Are
right,
these
no
people
questions
that are
online.
on the Zoom call or people that are tuned into listening?
Oh, there's people were online on YouTube, but there was no questions, so I just checked right
I have
now.
a question.
Go ahead. Yes.
So, Hare Krishna Prabhu, like all glories to Srila Prabhupada, please accept my
Hi.
humble obeisances. And my question is that, like, I was reading Nectar of Instruction, Updeshamrita. So, there is one thing that Srila Rup Goswami mentions that anyone who has taken a dip in Radha Kunda, he will develop a love for Krishna. So I have taken a dip in Radha Kunda many times, but I don't have any love for Krishna. So how does it happens that if like devotees are saying something and something is happening in actual life? Hare Krishna, was I audible?
Go ahead, Ramachandra. Why don't you answer him, or somebody answer him? It's a wonderful question because it touches on everything, including the mystery of chanting the holy name once and then more than once, like chanting 16 rounds. So I chanted 16 rounds and I'm not back to God. What happened?
Yeah. If it only was that easy. It is that easy.
Yeah. So Ramachandra, what would you say to answer his question about how are you so lucky to be Radhakund so many times? I've only been twice. So what can be said?
What can be said? Well, the scriptures are saying that, but it's not happening. So there's a fault there. Who's the fault is with who? Is
There is not
it with
fault.
the?
There is not fault, but there is something like more we need to understand in order to unlock that
No.
process.
The easy thing to understand is very simple. You did get all of that benefit, but you keep it inside. Your jiva has experienced it. The jiva is enthralled. The jiva has received the mercy of Radharani, but you're still thinking like a body. So you're going around grumpy, thinking, nothing happens. Why? Your body is not going to experience this. The jiva experiences. And if you could measure the jiva, who you are, from before you ever went to Radhakund to after the last time you went to Radhakund, I would bet my life that there's a difference. But no, your false ego of the body, pus, blood, stool, urine, a great spiritual authority, eh? Pus and blood and stool and urine. That pus, blood, stool, and urine is saying nothing happened. Oh, yeah? But take away the body and compare you like a mugshot, for the police. Make a mugshot of you before you ever went to Radhakund and take a spiritual mugshot after you've been there so many times. I guarantee the glow will be enormous at the end. Even though the body wants to say no. Does that make sense? Remember, Radhakund is not a material place. If you think it is, that's the problem.
No, it's indeed it's transcendental place. So, like, I was understanding.
But it's a transcendental place. But when we walk there, we're walking on bricks, we're walking on stone, we're bathing in water, we're looking at slime in the Radhakund, we're talking to people, we're eating things that are cooked out of crops that are grown on the land. That's all our body participation. What about the participation that doesn't walk on the stone, that doesn't recognize its own body when it's in the presence of Radhakund? What about the part of you that is part and parcel of Krishna? How can we say that part has not been affected? What do you want? Your body to be affected?
Not the
Your
body.
body is pus, blood, stool, and urine. As Prabhupada said so many nice things. Well, how about which pus, which blood, which urine, which stool? Which part of that do you want to see spiritualized? It doesn't. You have to distinguish between your body and yourself. Even saying you've been to Radhakund so many times gave me shivers of ecstasy. And I've only been twice. Of course, I went once with Srila Prabhupada.
So Prabhu, like it is like 1 million times than what we can experience the Radhakund.
But Radhakund, even, you don't have to go to Radhakund. If you hear about Radhakund, you get the same benefit as if you were bathing in Radhakund.
Yeah, you are a pure devotee, Prabhu, so you can get that.
Everyone's a pure devotee. Do you know why? Do you agree that we're all part and parcel of Krishna?
Yeah,
And is Krishna pure?
yeah,
Then how can you not be pure? If you're part and parcel of him? Your body's not. Your body's part of this illusory world. Duh, we know that. But you are part and parcel of Krishna. You the jiva, you the spirit soul. Aham brahmasmi. That means I am part and parcel of Krishna. Will not that part and parcel of Krishna experience something spiritually? When you bathed in Radhakund, Krishna was getting ecstasy from your bathing in Radhakund. You. Maybe your body was being cynical. Oh, I wish I had something else. Why did I come here? It cost me money. Now I have to go there. Now where's my damn cum shot? I want to dry off. Oh, where's lunch? Where am I going to eat? Oh, where's a latrine? I have to poop. Yeah, something. That's the body.
Okay, it's time to wrap it up.
Well, I did say you're my mentor, didn't I?
Let's end it up. Tomorrow we'll continue it. Try.
Boss is always right. It's ended up.
Yeah, I want to honor you all, offer my obeisances to you all, embrace your lotus feet, and say thank you for the opportunity to have enjoyed and relished your association. All of you, including Mohit.
Right. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, bro.
Thank
Very
you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Jai Prabhupada.